Hi, I'm Jessica and I'm a junior at Texas A&M University, and today I'm going to be talking about my takeaways from KNFB 222. Through this class, I did different field-based experiences to get hours for my teaching certification. The first setting I was in was a school setting, and it was with Mrs. Torres. She used social media in her classroom through many different projects, and in one that I observed, she used TikTok, which is a popular social media app right now, to let the students find a popular dance video, and then they recreated it. So it really just helped them stay engaged and interested in the material that they were learning in their dance class. The next setting that I was in was my community setting, and I worked at Kids Club for this. Kids Club is basically an after-school care program where we do structured activities. Through this, I really learned different group management skills such as modeling ideal behavior, conscious discipline, and using positive reinforcement to keep students interested in what they were doing and keep them on track behavior-wise. And then my last setting was coaching, and I did this through Kids Club as well. We had a dance club, so I got to help the kindergarteners learn a dance that we got to perform at the end of the semester. And through this, I learned that you have to be strict to get things done, but you also need to make it fun to keep students engaged and interested by playing little games and different activities throughout the practice. Through some of the activities that we did in this class, I learned how students struggle both inside and outside the classroom. The first experience I did was a cultural plunge at the Brazos Valley World Fest. At this event, they set up different tables and things that they could use to educate the community on their culture and their experiences in our community. This really helped me feel how students feel uncomfortable sometimes in the classroom when they have differences among their peers, and it really helped me to find strategies to help them not feel as uncomfortable in the classroom. The next activity that we did was the Lunch to the Eagle, and this really helped me experience being an advocate for the first time. We did research on different things that students experience in the classroom that are negative, and we advocated for change for those students. Throughout class, we had various discussions on disabilities, and it really opened my eyes to see that some schools in the state aren't really doing what they need to do to accommodate disabilities, which made me kind of frustrated, and it made me realize that educators need to advocate for students with disabilities and all their students, because if they don't, then no one is going to. Through this class, I found different strengths that will help me as a future educator. The first one being that I'm very organized. I do this by keeping a planner and a calendar that I mark everything down on, and it's really helped me in school and life just keep everything in line. My second strength is that I'm very patient. The kindergartners at Kids Club ask a lot of questions, but I always keep my cool and try and help them as best as I can. And my last strength is that I'm very dependable. I'm always on time to group projects and group meetings that we had throughout this class, and I'm always just generally there when people need me to be. As well as the strengths I found in working through KNFB 22, I also found weaknesses that I need to work through while I'm becoming an educator. The first one being my technical writing skills. I can always improve upon these because it's really important to be able to communicate professionally with my colleagues. And to do this, I can practice more on different things that I'll be expected to do in the classroom, and I can have people proofread my papers before I send them out if it's really important. My second thing I need to work on is confidence in front of my peers. I'm really confident in front of people younger than me and students, but I am a little bit weary of talking in front of my peers. To overcome this, I could just put myself in more public speaking situations, and I know it'll be uncomfortable at first, but over time I'll grow more confident. And my last weakness is time management. While I am really organized, I do tend to put things off sometimes, so I can use my organization to really help this time management weakness. In my future classroom, I want to celebrate my students' differences by having different books, movies, and posters that I use in my weekly lessons to reflect different backgrounds, cultures, and family structures. I really just want to make sure that my students all feel included and welcome in my classroom. I also want to make sure that they know it's a bully-free zone. Anytime I see any of my students making another one feel uncomfortable, I'm going to shut that down immediately. I don't want any of my students to feel uncomfortable while they're in my classroom. Lastly, I will encourage group work in my classroom. When students know each other, they often don't pick on each other as much because they feel like they have something in common. So I'll really encourage them to find commonalities that they all have.